And in news just coming in from across the border, we are given to understand that the Pak government has ordered detention of Zakiur Rehman Lakhvi for 3 months. And the reports say that he was today detained by Pakistani authorities for 3 more months, despite the Pak court giving him bail. This happens a day after he was given bail by a Pakistan court. And it was met with absolute outrage on this side of the border, that is on India. India absolutely upset, peeved and outraged over this man, the 2611 key handler and mastermind, co-founder of the Lashkar-e-Taiba, being given bail by a Pakistan court, and looks like Pakistan government has succumbed to the pressure that India has put, with strong exception to the developments being made known to the Pakistani counterparts by the MEA, by the Indian government overall, with Prime Minister Narendra Modi also making a statement, a proper statement on the floor of the House, very clearly reiterating India's position and India's objection to the developments. Pakistan government now has ordered the detention of Lakhvi for 3 more months. We'll try and go across to Shafiq in Islamabad for more details on this. But first up, let's take a listen to what both the Prime Minister and the External Affairs Minister said.
बांग्लादेश के राष्ट्रपति जी आज यहाँ हैं, तो मैं उनके साथ मीटिंग में व्यस्त था। आज सदन ने पाकिस्तान में जो तत्कालीन घटना घटी है उसके विषय में एक स्वर से चिंता जताई है, निंदा जताई है। भारत सरकार ने इस घटना के तुरंत बाद पाकिस्तान को कड़े से कड़े शब्दों में भारत की भावना को व्यक्त किया, उनको पहुंचाया है मैसेज। पाकिस्तान से अपेक्षा की है कि अभी अभी उनके यहाँ जो भयंकर घटना घटी है और बच्चों का जो भयंकर संहार हुआ, जितनी पीड़ा पाकिस्तान को हुई है, भारत को उससे रत्ती भर कम नहीं हुई है। हिंदुस्तान का हर बच्चे के आंख में आंसू है, हर हिंदुस्तानी के आंख में आंसू है। और उसके तुरंत बाद इस प्रकार का रवैया, ये दुनिया भर के मानवतावादी हर व्यक्ति के लिए बहुत बड़ा सदमा पहुंचाने वाला है। पाकिस्तान को उचित शब्दों में बात पहुंचा दी गई है और सदन ने जो भावना व्यक्त की है उस भावना का आदर करते हुए सरकार की आगे की गतिविधियां उसी के संदर्भ में रहेगी, उसी प्रकाश में रहेगी। मंडे को विदेश मंत्री जब बांग्लादेश के राष्ट्रपति जी के आज की व्यस्तता से मुक्त होकर के विस्तार से सदन में अपना बयान देगी और सदन को और देश को अवगत कराएगी।
So the Pak government blinks. They have ordered detention under the Maintenance of Public Order Act in Pakistan, we are given to understand he'll be placed in house arrest. Brigadier Malingam, Pakistan government bowing to international pressure and the outrage here in India over the bail granted to Zakiur Rehman Lakhvi. But he was living as ISI's royal guest even behind bars.
The point is that it was a ridiculous move, particularly with reference to the timing as well as the content. If you see this, they released him immediately after the school attack. And secondly, what about the problem of he threatening the witnesses? We are very well aware as to how the witnesses, the prosecution lawyers, they were all threatened time and again against the court. And lastly, let us understand, if he goes missing, what was the Pakistan government required to do? This is a clear case where the Pakistan's government, particularly the prosecution elements influenced perhaps by the ISI, have not focused on bringing him to a trial and punishing him. The entire episode smacks of leaving loopholes so that this man can get out of this problem which he is in.
True, Brigadier Marlingam, thanks for talking to us. Also, the other issue, will the government pull up the prosecution and the lawyer for not doing enough? Because India has given evidence, 99% of which, according to Mr. Syed Akbaruddin, spokesperson of the Ministry of External Affairs, 99% of the evidence against Zakiur Rehman Lakhvi lies in Pakistan. India could only give what they had. We have given 7 dossiers. It is a prosecution's job to pull up more evidence, not say that they don't have enough to try and push and keep this man behind bars. He's been kept under detention because it's been met with absolute outrage over on this side of the border over here in India. Let's take a listen to what the External Affairs Minister and also the Parliamentary Affairs Minister had to say on the matter.
मामले को यहाँ उठाया था। ये खुशी है कि आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने स्वयं आकर के अपनी प्रतिक्रिया से सदन को अवगत करा दिया है, लेकिन हमने इस बीच क्या किया है उस सब का एक विवरण मैं आपकी अनुमति से सदन में रखना चाहती हूँ। आदरणीय अध्यक्ष महोदया, इस सदन के अनेक माननीय सदस्यों ने लश्कर-ए-तैयबा के ऑपरेशनल कमांडर और घोषित अंतर्राष्ट्रीय आतंकवादी को इस्लामाबाद की आतंकरोधी अदालत द्वारा जमानत पर छोड़े जाने संबंधी समाचार को इस सदन में उठाया है। मैं आपके माध्यम से सदन को बताना चाहती हूं कि हमने पाकिस्तानी अधिकारियों के सामने अपना रुख बहुत ही स्पष्टता से रख दिया है। जैसे ही इस्लामाबाद स्थित भारतीय उच्चायोग को जमानत दिए जाने का समाचार मिला, उन्होंने तुरंत ही पाकिस्तान के विदेश मंत्रालय को स्पष्ट शब्दों में हमारे रुख से अवगत करा दिया और बता दिया कि हम इस तथ्य को स्वीकार नहीं करते कि लश्कर-ए-तैयबा के ऑपरेशनल कमांडर ज़कीउर रहमान लखवी, जो मुंबई में हुए आतंकी हमले का मास्टरमाइंड है और जिसे संयुक्त राष्ट्र सुरक्षा परिषद ने एक अंतर्राष्ट्रीय आतंकवादी घोषित किया हुआ है, को जमानत पर छोड़ा जाए। हम इस दलील को अस्वीकार करते हैं कि उस पर और उसके साथ इस साजिश में सह शामिल अन्य लोगों पर मुकदमा चलाने के लिए पर्याप्त सबूत नहीं थे। हम बिना शक ये कह सकते हैं कि मुंबई पर हुए हमले की साजिश पाकिस्तान में रची गई थी। इसका वित्त पोषण और आतंकवादियों को प्रशिक्षण भी वहीं दिया गया था। इसके 99% सबूत पाकिस्तान में ही मौजूद हैं और पाकिस्तान की जांच एजेंसियों के पास इसके सबूत इकट्ठा करने के लिए 6 वर्ष का समय था और उनका ये दायित्व था कि उन सबूतों को पेश करके अपराधियों को सजा दिलवाएं। अध्यक्ष जी, सदस्यों को ये विदित है कि 2 दिन पूर्व ही पाकिस्तान के पेशावर में एक स्कूल पर बर्बरतापूर्ण आतंकवादी हमला हुआ था, जिसमें 132 बच्चों को और 9 अन्य लोगों को बेरहमी के साथ कत्ल कर दिया गया था। हमने उन परिवारों के दर्द को महसूस किया था जिनके प्रियजन इस कत्लेआम में मारे गए थे। उस दिन अध्यक्ष जी, अबोध बच्चे ही नहीं मारे गए थे, बल्कि मानवता के अंश ने दम तोड़ दिया था। लेकिन लखवी को बेल देकर पाकिस्तान की सरकार ने आतंकवादी गुटों के खिलाफ बिना शक और बिना भेद के लड़ने की अपनी प्रतिबद्धता का मजाक उड़वाया है। इस कृत्य से ऐसे लोगों का हौसला बढ़ता है जिन्होंने पेशावर में हाल ही में हमला करने का जघन्य अपराध किया है। इससे उन्हें अबाध रूप से अपने कुकृत्य को जारी रखने का मौका मिलता है। अध्यक्ष जी, हम पाकिस्तान की सरकार से मांग करते हैं कि वो तुरंत इस निर्णय को बदलवाए और अभी हम पाकिस्तानी अधिकारियों की प्रतिक्रिया पर नजर बनाए हुए हैं।
And even as the development comes to the fore that Lakhvi has been kept in detention for 3 more months, the Lok Sabha over here in India has adopted a resolution condemning the bail granted to 2611 mastermind Zakiur Rehman Lakhvi. Aishwarya joins us with more details. Yes, Aishwarya.
Well, Anand, after the Prime Minister himself making an intervention in this...
We will try and go back to Aishwarya in just a bit. Lost him on the phone, but the resolution has asked the government to take every step possible to put pressure on Pakistan to bring the matter related to 2611 to a satisfactory conclusion. And the first step is that Pakistan has put this man back in detention. He's been, reports suggest he's been put back in house arrest. Not behind bars, not in jail, but he's been put under house arrest under the Maintenance of Public Order Act in Pakistan. He is being kept under detention for 3 more months. That is what the Pak government has got to say. But we have to see whether or not Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif makes a statement on Jamaat-ud-Dawa, on Hafiz Saeed, on Lashkar-e-Taiba and on this man Zakiur Rehman Lakhvi, and also calls them terrorists and says these people also need to be brought to book. Whether or not Nawaz Sharif is serious on his commitment, we have to wait and watch. Maruf Raza, strategic affairs expert, joins us with more details. Maruf, is this enough? It's the pressure that India is putting, it's the pressure that Pakistan is feeling because they've allowed this man bail, that they've put him under detention for 3 more months. But the error lies with the prosecution, which is acting on behalf of the Pak government.
Yeah, well, basically it's a step in the right direction, but I think for the time being, Pakistan has seen good sense in responding to the claims from the Indian Foreign Office and the Home Ministry that you cannot let Lakhvi go free. But I think that's today's initiative. What Pakistan needs to do in the near and immediate future is really move more seriously on the evidence that we've provided against Lakhvi and everybody else, including Hafiz Saeed for 2611. And that evidence is there on the record, and even the Americans have authenticated it. David Headley's statements have authenticated it, and voice samples, everything that has been provided by India. They're not matching them. Those evidence is available. It is in the interest of Pakistan to actually seriously consider turning the corner, because if Pakistan is not willing to turn the corner, then today it's Peshawar, tomorrow it will be Lahore, and they will again go into a state of mourning. This is really Pakistan's hour of reckoning. It's their 9/11 or 26/11, and if Pakistan doesn't wish to change the narrative which they've lived by for all these years, then Pakistan has to pay for itself and blame for itself, and it will lose the world's sympathy on the line that they have been espousing all these years to say they are victims of terror and they don't support terror. But the fact of the matter is they are victims of self-created terror. It is a fire they have lit. It is a fire they have not been able to extinguish, and they are not being able to extinguish because Pakistan's establishment and its people are still divided on who's a good terrorist and who's a bad terrorist.
Maruf, please stay with us on the phone. There are other dimensions to this too, because this looks just like a temporary fix so that Nawaz Sharif can execute his devious plot, and we'll talk about that to you in just a bit. Just coming back to what's happening in the parliament here, Madhav Das Gopal Krishnan joining us with the details on the resolution that's been passed in the Lok Sabha. Yes, Madhav.
Well, yes, absolutely. We have seen all parties come out and really strongly condemn, as far as Zakiur Rehman Lakhvi and his release on bail or that order of the court is concerned. And clearly, of course, the Prime Minister as well as the External Affairs Minister coming out and speaking on this, the Prime Minister saying that a required message was sent to Pakistan. Also, that Sushma Swaraj, the External Affairs Minister, coming out and saying that they want that as far as this decision is concerned, it should be overturned, and also at the same time saying that we will watch what Pakistan does on this entire issue. So clearly, the big question is whether Pakistan will walk the talk. We have seen a completely different thing that has been said and what is taking place on ground over there in Pakistan. So clearly, the government, with this resolution, with the Parliament coming out and speaking in one voice, really, of course, unequivocally condemning the release of Lakhvi and cutting across party lines, this resolution certainly, of course, with this coming out, it is something that remains to be seen now, whether Pakistan responds to this really in terms of actually going ahead and opposing his bail, and really what kind of action will be done by the government of Pakistan is something that will be watched very closely now.
True. Going back to Maruf Raza on these developments, Maruf, the other part is he wants to get rid of Taliban. That's what Nawaz Sharif has done. Now, this act of letting Lakhvi out will put paid to his efforts on that front. And is this just...